and welcome to this brand new channel. My name is Stella and it's nice to meet you all. And today I wanted to kind of introduce myself to BookTube and talk a little bit about why I decided to start this channel. I've decided that the way to do that is through the BookTube Newbie tag, which I'm sure many of you have seen over the years. It's kind of a basic way to introduce yourself to the BookTube community. Before I start, I just want to say I did not make up these questions. These are questions that I found on the internet. I don't know who the original creator of the official Newbie tag is, but credits to them, whoever they are. So yes, the first sort of question that a lot of people ask is, why did you start the channel? Or why did you start your channel? And for me, it was because I have been an avid watcher of BookTube for many years, and as you can see, I have quite the collection myself because I am an avid reader, and I have been ever since I was like very little. And I finally just decided, you know what, I have some extra time, you know, I read anyway, so it wouldn't be like adding to my workload. And I decided that I wanted to hop on here and talk about books with people who also enjoy those kinds of discussions. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I decided to start this channel. And that's pretty much it. So the second question is, why are you excited to start this channel? And I think that for me, the main thing is that I'm going to be able to sort of build a community and find a community of people who share my interests and the types of books that I like to read. And so I think that'll be a really fun time to sort of get to know each other and discuss books that we enjoy. The third question is why I love reading. So both my parents are writers, so reading has always sort of been in my life, and I was lucky enough to find a love of reading, especially fiction, but you know, also some nonfiction and plays and things like that. And for me, reading has always been sort of like an escape, just from when the world is getting a little chaotic. And I think it really helps me sort of process what's going on in the world, you know, through books, because I feel like a lot of times books that are written, especially nowadays, often have sort of taken what's going on in society and put them sort of into a literary form, and I really enjoy that. And so, you know, sometimes I might not even be conscious of sort of the underlying themes of a book until I've read it and I'm like, oh wow. So yeah, that's why I love reading. And the fourth question is, what book series got you into reading? This is a loaded question. I feel like there's a couple of different answers. The Mysterious Benedict Society, and then, if I can get it out, Wonder. These are two books that I, to this day, recommend to people. Both of them are sort of middle grade reading level, like a middle grade reading level, but both of these books, I believe, have messages that are applicable to anyone of any age, especially Wonder. This one was probably the biggest influence on my sort of love for reading, especially non-fantasy books, because I do love sort of mystery, fantasy, sort of fiction elements that I guess you could consider traditional fantasy, but Wonder definitely was really a big influence on my love of more contemporary works with, you know, deeper messages than just like a top layer. The next question on this list is, what are some questions you have for your favorite booktubers? This one's a hard one just because I have so many favorite booktubers. I think that my favorite booktubers that I watch like on a regular basis are definitely Chloe from Books with Chloe, and you know, Jamie from Jamie's Library, Kevin from Irish Reader, Kate from Kate Literature. All of those kind of wonderful people. And I think my question for really all of them would be, when are you guys starting a podcast? Because I would just love to, you know, as I'm driving to school every day, listen to you guys discuss, even if it's not about books. Honestly, here's one listener right here. The next question is, what the hardest thing to overcome while starting this channel is going to be. And I think that for me, sort of accepting that a community takes some time to build. You know, obviously I'm just doing this for fun and for my own enjoyment, but I'm someone who's always like, I need to be successful like 24/7. So I think this will be a good way for me to kind of practice self-love in a way where I'm not, you know, so focused on achieving a certain level of success, where I'm just being calm and grateful for everything that I have and the kind of community that I can build, even if it's a small one, you know. And I think it'll help me kind of accept that, okay, people like me for me, right? You know, I'm not on here to try and do anything crazy, just trying to talk about books. So next question on this list is, when did you start reading? And I kind of talked about this when I introduced my 2 books that got me really into reading. But I started reading when I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and I think elementary school too. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's my answer. Next question. What is your favorite place to read? Either right here in my little book nook, I have a pillow. His name is Mr. Penguin. And so sometimes I'll just kind of read back here, or I'll read either in my bed or like on my couch or something. But those are like kind of basic answers, so I'll go with my book nook, hence the name of this channel. The next question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And this one's a hard one for me because I've had so many different stages of reading and so many different stages of like what I like to read. But I think at the moment, my favorite thing to read is sort of fantasy, but I think it's fantasy with aspects of like mystery, or sort of where you have to kind of play detective and sort of figure out, you know, things that are gonna happen. And it doesn't have to be like super high intense fantasy. It can be sort of low-key fantasy. Like, I'm saying fantasy so much. A recent book that is a good example of this is actually this book right here. This book right here, The Maidens, is a really good example of the kind of books that I like to read. This, along with The Secret History, are 2 books that I've really enjoyed. And this kind of elemental dark academia sort of thrillers, but not really thrillers, fiction, but not really like fantasy. These 2 are examples of what I like to read, so yeah. The final question on this list is, what does your book collection look like? And this is a collection of books that I've been adding to ever since I was little. My favorite place to shop for books is definitely sort of like secondhand stores, so half-price books, places like that where I can get you know, copies that are in relatively good condition for a decent amount, but not like a crazy amount of money. But yeah, so that is my book collection. If you guys want like a in-depth tour of each shelf and how they're organized and such, let me know. But I don't think anyone's that interested in that. Although, fun fact, I did build these shelves. So yeah, that's cool. This was a just kind of get to know me video to sort of introduce myself to booktube. And so yeah, if anyone's stuck around this long, thanks for watching, and appreciate you, and hopefully I will see you again. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.